P. Knowledge of basic macroeconomic values, e.g., CPI, GDP, exchange rates, etc. Part 1 identifies knowledge of basic macroeconomic values as an essential competency because macroeconomic conditions significantly influence organizational performance, strategic planning, and financial decision-making. Macroeconomics examines the behavior and performance of an economy as a whole, focusing on aggregate indicators such as gross domestic product, GDP, inflation, unemployment, interest rates, and exchange rates. FP&A professionals monitor these indicators to evaluate economic trends, forecast business conditions, and support budgeting and investment decisions. Economic indicators help organizations assess risks, anticipate market changes, and adjust strategies accordingly. Understanding macroeconomic values strengthens forecasting accuracy and improves management's ability to respond effectively to changing economic environments. Gross domestic product, GDP, is one of the most important macroeconomic indicators because it measures the total monetary value of all final goods and services produced within a country during a specific period. GDP reflects the overall size and growth rate of an economy and is widely used to evaluate economic performance. Rising GDP generally indicates economic expansion, stronger consumer demand, increased business activity, and higher employment levels. Conversely, declining GDP may signal recessionary conditions and reduced economic activity. FP&A professionals analyze GDP trends carefully because economic growth influences sales forecasts, capital investment decisions, hiring plans, and strategic expansion opportunities. Real GDP adjusts for inflation and provides a more accurate measure of actual economic growth over time. The Consumer Price Index, CPI, is a key inflation indicator that measures changes in the average prices consumers pay for a basket of goods and services over time. CPI is commonly used to evaluate inflation trends, purchasing power, and changes in the cost of living. Rising CPI levels indicate inflationary pressures, which can increase operating costs, reduce consumer purchasing power, and influence monetary policy decisions. FP&A professionals monitor inflation indicators carefully because inflation affects pricing strategies, wage planning, interest rates, and forecasting assumptions. Central banks frequently adjust monetary policy in response to inflation conditions by increasing or lowering interest rates to stabilize economic activity and maintain price stability within the economy. Exchange rates represent the relative value of one currency compared to another and play a major role in international business operations, trade, and financial markets. Exchange rate fluctuations affect import and export prices, foreign investment returns, supply chain costs, and multinational profitability. A stronger domestic currency may reduce export competitiveness but lower import costs, while a weaker currency can improve export demand but increase imported input expenses. FP&A professionals analyze exchange rate movements to support forecasting, pricing decisions, risk management, and international investment evaluations. Organizations with global operations often use hedging strategies and scenario analysis to manage foreign exchange risk and reduce earnings volatility caused by currency fluctuations in international markets. Interest rates and unemployment rates are additional important macroeconomic indicators because they directly affect consumer spending, borrowing activity, business investment, and overall economic growth. Central banks adjust interest rates to influence inflation, economic expansion, and financial stability. Higher interest rates generally increase borrowing costs and reduce spending or investment activity, while lower rates encourage borrowing and economic growth. Unemployment rates measure the percentage of the labor force actively seeking work but unable to find employment. High unemployment often signals economic weakness and reduced consumer demand, while low unemployment may indicate economic expansion and potential inflationary pressures. FP&A professionals incorporate these indicators into forecasting models, investment evaluations, and strategic planning activities. Modern FP&A functions increasingly integrate macroeconomic analysis into strategic planning, budgeting, forecasting, and risk management processes. Organizations use economic indicators to evaluate market conditions, assess competitive risks, and anticipate shifts in consumer behavior or industry performance. Macroeconomic values are interconnected because changes in inflation, GDP, unemployment, or exchange rates often influence one another through broader economic cycles. FP&A professionals therefore combine economic analysis with financial modeling, scenario planning, and operational metrics to support management decisions effectively. Strong understanding of macroeconomic indicators improves forecasting reliability, strengthens strategic responsiveness, and enhances the organization's ability to adapt successfully to evolving economic conditions and competitive environments.